Do you know what your marketing KP score is? In this video, I will show you how to literally print money with the secret no one is talking about. So today we're going to dive into Google Ads to help you attract more clients. And by the end of this video, you'll understand how to structure your campaigns, choose your keywords, target your local area, write compelling ads, and optimize your budget for maximum impact. For chiropractor offices, local targeting is crucial. So we'll go through setting up the radius around your practice, typically 1 to 10 miles, depending on your market. Your ad copy is your first impression, and we want to highlight what makes your practice unique. So years of service, advanced technology, special offers or promotions, affordable holistic procedures are just some examples. So creating multiple ad variations is key to testing different messages. For example, your first ad might be expert sport chiropractor, same day appointments. Another example, 50% off adjustment, voted best chiropractor in 2024. I'll also teach you how to use ad extensions, and these provide additional information for your phone number, location, and other services. Let's talk about your landing pages. Directing your ads to relevant landing pages on your website is key. If someone clicks on an ad for emergency chiropractic, then send them to your emergency chiropractor page, not your home page. So ensure your landing pages have clear calls to action, like book an appointment or free consultation. Make it easy for potential patients to take the next step, and balance between specific and general pages. While specific pages can be more relevant, sometimes a general service page allows users more choice in navigation. So let's go through a high-level overview of the plan. We need a plan to create a successful campaign. So let's talk about budget setting and bidding. A conservative daily budget around $50 to $100 per day for new campaigns is ideal and the goal. You can always increase this as you see fit and you see results. We will start with manual CPC or pay-per-click. This gives you more control as you learn what works for your patients. Also, gather data and switching to automated bidding will target your CPA, cost per acquisition, or target ROAS, return on ad spend. These can optimize your bids based on your goals. Remember, allocate 20% of your budget for experiments with new ads, new keywords, and 80% for proven performers. For ad scheduling and performance, use the ad schedule feature to analyze when people are searching for chiropractic services. You might find higher engagement during lunch hours or when people are off work. So regularly review your campaign performance. Focus on key metrics like click-through rates, how many people click on the appointment, cost per acquisition, how much you're paying for a new patient. Don't be afraid to download reports and analyze the data. It will give you more insights and make your campaign more profitable. So remember, optimizing your Google Ads campaign is an ongoing process. Keep testing, keep refining your approach for the best results. You can start by implementing these strategies. Set up your campaign structure, research and select your keywords, write compelling ad copy, and create targeted landing pages for your customers. Set initial budgets and bids, monitor and adjust as performance. Don't get bogged down by minor details. Just focus on the big wins, effective keywords, compelling ad copy, and smart bidding strategies. Now, let's go through a campaign in detail. Let's start with campaign structure. Just like your practice has different services, your Google Ads account should have a separate campaign for each major service category. For example, general chiropractic campaign, chiropractic procedures, emergency services, sports chiropractic campaign. Within each campaign, create ad groups for specific services. For instance, in your sports campaign, you might have ad groups including injury, recovery, flexibility, energy, and performance. This structure allows for targeted messaging and easier performance tracking. Remember, clean, organized data is crucial for efficient analysis and reporting. This step-by-step guide will help you set up an effective campaign and attract more patients, increasing your bottom line. So let's get to it. Okay, so let's get started. First, sign in to your Google Ads account. Go to ads.google.com. If you don't have one, you can easily create it by clicking on Start Now in the top right-hand corner. I'm just going to go ahead and sign in to my account so we can get started on creating the campaign. So once you're in, you'll be taken to the Google Ads dashboard. Up at the left-hand corner, click on Create Campaign. Google Ads will present you with a campaign objective website, and here it's going to give you a few options: sales, leads, website traffic, app promotion, awareness, local store visits, or create a campaign without goals guidance. So for our purposes, we're going to use create a campaign without a goals guidance. Google gives you all these options because they want you to spend more money. And so they're going to make it real easy for you and real simple for you to do that. But once we do a create campaign without a goals guidance, we will be able to customize all of the settings that we want. Down at the bottom, you'll see that you have a select campaign type. For our purposes, we'll choose search as our campaign type. But you definitely want to use search because it's ideal as it targets people actively searching for your services. The next section, Google's going to ask you for what kind of results you want to get from this campaign. It's going to ask you if you want website visits, what's your website's name? For phone calls, you can enter your phone number, which I recommend getting a Google phone number. That way you can have tracking based on the calls that come in. And this is app, and the next one is app downloads. If you have an application you want to market, you can use that for app downloads. But all of this we're going to uncheck and we're going to leave alone. Click continue. Now, down at the bottom, this box above campaign name, you have a bunch of goals that, excuse me, that Google is trying to simplify for you and want you to spend more money. Unfortunately, we're going to have to pick a one because we cannot move forward without picking one of these goals. But don't worry, we were able to customize everything that we are set out to do. So let's go ahead and just click on book appointments. Okay. Now here's where we name the campaign. Now remember, it's a descriptive name. So for example, if you are in Miami, chiropractic services Miami, that's how you would do. And click continue. Google's going to ask you for your bidding strategy. But what we want to do is go ahead and select a different strategy than what they have there. Click on the drop-down box and select clicks. In our instance, this is a new campaign, and in order to optimize a bid around conversions or conversion value, you need to have conversions logged into an account with an associated conversion value. So we don't have that set up yet, and this is a brand new account. So new campaigns, we have to just select clicks and then click next. In the network settings section, under search network, select or keep include Google search partners. So ensures ads will appear on Google search page results. So make sure you deselect display network to avoid your ads showing on unrelated websites. if your budget is not extremely high or you're just starting off, I would highly recommend just including Google Search Network. Now, Google doesn't disclose who all their search network partners are, so we'll never know who or where your ads are going to show up, but just know that they will. Next, choose the locations you want to target. Now, since chiropractor practices typically serve local areas, select your city or a specific radius around your practice. So this helps ensure your ads reach more potential patients in your vicinity. So again, if you're a local business and you only serve certain areas, this is an absolute must. Location settings is an absolute must for local businesses. So let's go ahead and select enter another location. And here it's going to give us another option. We have option. We'll talk about these local location options here shortly. Let's go ahead and click on advanced search. All right, so before we go on to this, you really have to start thinking about where you ideally want your ads to show. Let's say you're a chiropractor with businesses across the United States, and you're a nationwide company. So does that mean that you should choose the entire United States? Well, there's a bunch of different things that are important to think about. You might have higher margins or a lower cost per conversion in certain areas, and chiropractor costs are different or cheaper, higher in certain areas, and you might find seasonability and economic patterns that affect your clients' behaviors. You know, all these types of conditions that might affect the performance of a different location. It could be a state, a city, a zip code, and you really need to think about this stuff because when you set up location targeting, you have a massive impact on how your ads are actually going to perform. So I would be very specific where I service based on the types of clients I want to attract. So like things in your CRM, like historical data. You could speak to your clients, speak to your coworkers. You could also think about feedback from your customers in certain locations. There's a site called trends.google.com, and you can go on there for the latest trends to find out certain searches for certain services and products that are trending in certain areas. And a lot of it is just your own intuition, right? In the place of having good historical data. But the best thing is able to do is once you're running your campaigns for a while, let's say, for example, nationwide United States, you know, you should really break it down into a state by state, city by city type of data. So for now, let's do a quick overview of the features of location targeting. This you could do basic exclusions and inclusions. So using Google's location targeting, you could specifically target certain locations or all locations, or specifically exclude specific locations. So those are your basic exclusions and inclusions. So if let's say you're in Miami, so we'll type in here, Miami. All right, here you give the option of include or exclude or nearby. But let's say that you wanna, your Miami's kind of big. So let's say you wanna include Brickell, okay? So let's say include, all right? So let's say you wanna include this area. But let's say that you want to exclude Weston, all right? So there it is. You're excluding Weston. And that's just how it is. You include and exclude certain areas, certain locations from your ads being shown, or your ads will be shown. There are a thing called location groups, which can be used like as places of interest, but or airport demographic groups, but all of that was removed. So let's go ahead and click on save. Here, let's talk about radius real quick. Yeah, so radius, you could do, let's say you are 5 mile radius from North Miami. That's what's going to be in the included section. Okay. So click on save. All right. So now let's talk about location options. Location options are really important. Presence or interest or presence, people in or regularly in your target locations. So there's a difference here. Presence or interest, people in, regularly in, or who've shown interest in your included locations. They recommend this part, but this could also include people with they don't live in Miami, people that don't live in a certain area that are they're just researching for information. Maybe they're going to visit that area and they want a chiropractor, but they're up in New York. It'll show ads to those people. But here we want to target people that are always in and regularly in your locations, because you know that the odds of them booking an appointment with you are higher than somebody who's just looking for information. Next up is languages. Here, go ahead and set the language that's spoken by your customers. For most chiropractors, it's going to be English. Okay, so English. Audience segments will come back later. Broad match keywords. Right now, it is grayed out, and we'll come back to that later because we don't have any keywords in our campaign yet. So I'll click on More Settings. Under More Settings, you're going to have Ad Rotation. All right, so let's talk about this. There's two options here that are highlighted. The other two are grayed out and they're not supported any longer. There's Optimize, Prefer Best Performing Ads, or Do Not Optimize, Rotate Ads Indefinitely. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to click Do Not Optimize. And here's why. Because this is a new account, we don't know what ads are going to perform better than the others. So why are we going to prefer the best performing ads? And we don't know how Google determines what best performing ads are. To choose the correct one, you need to understand the relationship between ads in an ad group, potential search terms, and keywords. Here's an example. Think of Google Ads as a library. Now, each major section in this library is like a campaign. And within each section, there are smaller categories. These are your ad groups. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Each book in these categories represents a keyword. So just like books, keywords can fit into multiple categories. For example, a book titled Space Love Story could be both sci-fi and romance. Similarly, a keyword like pet chiropractor could be in ad groups for both dog chiropractor and animal chiropractor. Now imagine someone comes in asking for a specific book. That's like a user searching on Google. Your keywords help Google find the right book or ad to show them. And just like a librarian, they suggest similar books. And Google uses your ad groups to show relevant ads, even if the search doesn't exactly match your keyword. So remember, your ad groups are like categories in a library, helping you organize your keywords or books in a way that makes sense for your businesses and your customers. So that's the relationship. Choosing Optimize, your ad rotation settings are telling Google if ad 1 performs better than ad 2, then favor that ad. But if you rotate or do not optimize, then your ads will rotate indefinitely, which means that these ads will get around the same clicks inside the account. Performance differences are ignored and clicks are distributed evenly among the ads. I recommend always starting out with not optimizing because you don't ever know exactly how Google is optimizing. And you want to rotate ads in the beginning to get a sense of brand messaging and how your account works. So over time, you might choose to run optimized ads to choose the best performing ads. But in most cases, in most campaigns, we choose rotate ads indefinitely. And we make the optimization decisions ourselves based on the key performance indicators. All right. So ad schedule can be all day. If you're just starting off with a campaign, it's really important if you're looking back to see how campaigns have performed during different days and different times of the week. Don't think of your schedule just as running or not running. Think of your scheduling as a constantly changing dynamic in your account. You could always be adjusting and decreasing bids and aggressiveness. My recommendation for you is to run your ads 24/7, unless you have a specific compelling reason not to. If no one's going to be answering your phones and your advertising spend will be less profitable overnight, that's not a reason to cut out the spend. It might just be a reason to bid much, much less per click during those overnight hours. So once you have a campaign running for 30, 60, 90 days, then reporting, analyzing will show you what days and times to optimize. You do that by creating those ad schedules so you can make a minus 60, minus 70 bid adjustment for overnight hours. It gets a lot more complex, but when you're dealing with different types of campaigns, every campaign can have its own schedule. Remember, we're not setting this up for your entire account. You might have 100 campaigns, and every single campaign can have its entirely own schedule and its entirely own set of bid adjustments. Finally, click Next. Now comes the section Keyword and Asset Generation. Google AI will create keywords, headlines, and descriptions based on the URL you are sending your traffic, the landing page. So go ahead and test some ideas, but we'll cover keyword generation later in this video. For now, go ahead and click Skip. Creating ad groups based on different services you offer is the goal. Remember, thematically, we want our campaign to be structured. So, for example, you might have ad groups for general chiropractor or injuries, emergencies, sports chiropractor. This helps you organize your ads and keywords effectively. So by default, your ad group name is Ad Group 1. And you will see that here under the Keywords and Ads title, change the name. So let's type in emergency. So themes could be product categories, there could be subcategories, there could be locations. So emergency is going to be our category. From the previous library example, remember we were talking about ad groups. This group will generate keywords that will help Google suggest the ads to display to the user. There are a few tools, free and paid, that we can use to get ideas for keywords. SEMrush is one of those tools that gives us some very helpful information. So for your industry, let's take a look at where you can profit the fastest and easiest keywords. So let's switch over to SEMrush. And I want to draw your attention to a KD score. The KD score is a metric that SEMrush uses to measure the SEO effort it would take for your content to rank organically. Anything under 30 is gold. It's going to be super easy and your cost per clicks are going to be very manageable for you to rank high and for you to start taking traffic and making money and bringing new clients into the door. Well, let's go ahead and go into SEMrush now so we can get some keyword ideas. At SEMrush, they have some paid versions and some free versions. The paid versions just offer you more analytics and performance data, and the free plans will let you use their system and look for keywords. Nothing too extravagant, but it's still very helpful. So let's go ahead and type in a keyword here at the top. I've already gotten here a keyword, Chiropractor Miami. Now, if we go ahead and click on Chiropractor Miami, this will actually give us a whole bunch of data. It will give us the volume, the keyword difficulty. It is global volume, intent, commercial. We'll talk about what this is all about. Cost per click, CPC, competitive density, anybody running ads on those campaigns, on those keywords. And if you see this here, my friend, is gold. This is exactly how you can rank organically on Google without much effort at all and will drive your business to the next level. So if you click on Keyword Magic tool here on the left-hand side, this will give us a tool that analyzes all the keywords that are tied to this keyword that we typed in. Now, these are the broad types. Let's go ahead and click on all keywords. All right. So this will give us all the keywords, including every match type, broad match, phrase match, and exact match and related, and it will give us all the information in the past 2 weeks. Again, this information is pulled from Google, and it's pretty accurate, I would say, maybe 80%. It could be higher, it could be lower. But what we do know is that the commercial intent for Chiropractor Miami and the volume is over 1,000 and the KD is 33. And here, these are the keywords that we could use. Once we build out our campaign, we can export all these keywords into our Google Ads account, which will in turn draw the specific traffic and attract the specific potential clients that we want. Now, you can go ahead and play around with this, select them all the keywords, you can click on it and it'll give you some more information on a little bit more insight as to what those keywords are doing. It will also give you other ideas. I've already done the heavy lifting for you. I have a report. If you want to leave a comment down below, I can email you all of these keywords in a spreadsheet. So just go ahead and leave a comment below. We'll get that over to you. And also here, it gives you competitors that are kind of using this keyword. You can go ahead and analyze. You're going to want to analyze competitors because, they are obviously using keywords that are being successful, they're advertising, and they are getting traffic. But our Google Ads campaign, Google has implemented an AI bot to help you research and recommend keywords based on your website, product, and services. And it grabs it all from your URL, which is asking you to enter it in here. Again, it is all optional, but you can go ahead and play around with it and see what you come up with, okay? There's another element that we have to account for, and that's human psychology. How does a person talk to a search engine? Keywords is the language, and they have something called match types, okay? So down here, it says here, match types control searches that can trigger your ads. So there are 3 types of match types. There's broad, phrase, and exact match. All right, we'll talk about each one and what they are. With broad match, Google has a lot of freedom. Your ad can show up when people search for related terms, synonyms, and even different phrases. So for example, your ad might appear for searches like urgent chiropractor treatment or 24-hour chiropractor. And this gives you the widest reach, but can sometimes show your ad for unrelated searches. In phrase match modified, you can add a plus sign in front of your keywords. This means your ad will show up when searches include these words or very similar ones in any order. All right. For instance, your ad might show up for a emergency chiropractor services or care for chiropractor emergencies. It gives you more control for broad match, but still allows some flexibility. With phrase match, your ad appears when people search for your exact phrase, even if there are extra words before or after. For example, your ad could show for emergency chiropractor care near me. This is great for targeting specific phrases while allowing some variations. So exact match means that your ad shows up only when people search for your exact keyword or close variations. For instance, if your keyword is emergency chiropractic care in square brackets, your ad will appear when someone searches for that exact term. This gives you the most control, but reaches the fewer people. With a limited budget, that might be the way to go. You only want 10 to 15 highly targeted keywords because you know that your ad will only show up when that exact keyword comes up, which will then maximize your budget for your bidding. So make sure that you include your square brackets in that keyword. Negative match means that your ad won't show up if your search includes a negative keyword. So for example, if you use minus emergency, dislocation, minus care, your ad won't appear for searches like 24-hour chiropractic care if they include those negative terms. And this helps you avoid irrelevant traffic. So we want our ad groups by match type because it allows us to bid differently. You might also eventually want to create campaigns that are just for top performing keywords. So when you have a top performer ad group, You'll get more volume for those keywords. You'll not get if you leave the top performing keywords in search terms. Your overall ROAS, return on ad spend for the account, will certainly increase. Your click-through rate for those ad groups is going to go up. That's going to result in an increase in quality score, and it's going to result in a decrease in your cost per click or CPC. So we don't need to indicate the match type in the group because I'm going to include all match types in this group. We're not structuring this group based by match types, okay? So this is where it gets interesting. So let's review the buyer funnel. Leave a comment below and I will create a separate video explaining the buyer funnel in more detail. It's very interesting though because human psychology plays a huge role in the buyer funnel. So engineering this traffic to match the funnel is the goal to our successful campaigns. Is awareness, interest, shop or desire, and buy. If you have a limited budget of $50 to $100 a day, then I recommend that you stick to 10 to 15 high volume, commercial intent keywords. Why? Well, that's because more keywords you have in your ad group, the higher the daily budget is needed to spread that budget across all keywords. So you have to choose one or the other to get the results that you want, all right? Keyword planning and research is the most important part in building out your campaign. In fact, negative keywords are the most important as they help you optimize your campaigns to make you money. Listen, I have done all the heavy lifting for you. So if you drop a comment, I will email you the spreadsheet of keywords for this campaign, which includes volumes and cost estimates. Once you have those keywords, just copy and paste them. Next, we'll write the ads. The first section of writing your ads is the final URL. So this is the landing page where the traffic will be sent to, and it should reflect exactly what your ad was intended to do. For example, if your ad was about booking appointment, then your landing page should reflect that. It's the most direct answer to the user's question. The display path is what you want the ad to read. The pages you enter do not necessarily have to exist, so it's like a forwarded link to your final URL. The domain has to be the same as your site though. Now the creative part. When writing your ad headlines, you want the benefits to come out first. But before we do that, let's just go ahead and just type in a generic final URL. In display path, you can type in emergency and you could say injury. Writing your headlines, you want the benefits to come out first. For example, stop back pain now, open 7 days, or emergency chiropractor, or chiropractor cracking from $79. So let's go ahead and type those in. Each headline gives you 30 characters to write your headline in. And I suggest you take advantage of it as most as you can because that's just more real estate on the ad. Again, all these headlines will rotate. So they won't all come out at the same time. Google will rotate one after another, okay? Next, you're gonna wanna have at least 3. 3 are required. The more you have, the merrier. But right now we're gonna do 3 as an example. Okay, so Google gives you 90 characters for your ad description boxes, and 2 of them are required. Think of these descriptions as micro ads. These are descriptions to make your key selling points. So make this your key value proposition. So now let's talk about ad extensions, why we want them and their benefits. Ad extensions are additional content that's appended to our ad after headlines and descriptions. So they provide users shortcuts to find answers to their questions, all in one click. Another benefit is they help the user minimize work. Instead of the user digging for answers, they will just see your ad extension and quickly decide if that's what they're looking for. Ad extension can also be easily updated if you want to keep the other parts of the ad the same. So ad extensions, they also provide reporting features to give you data of what is working and what is not. Help your click-through rates and quality scores as much as 15%. So it makes sense to have these and it makes your ads more relevant. There are more types of site link extensions like location site extensions. If you have a Google My Business, then Google will link the location with the ad. And that is what you want as a physical location. Call extensions are powerful because the phone number is attached to the text of the ad. So you will need a Google phone number, as I mentioned before, because it gives you tracking. And when you have tracking, you know where exactly your ad spend is coming from. Review extensions are a bit tricky because Google will need to verify them. And they are very powerful to have and to build trust. Callout extensions are also useful to highlight certain key aspects of your offer. For example, sales, promotions, shipping, quality of service, or products. You need at least two of them for Google to rotate. But site link extensions are the best to optimize your business. And this will take some time, but it is very important to make the campaign successful. So under section site link 1, go ahead and click on the plus sign. So because our ad group is emergency, we will build our site link extensions around that theme. So the first site link will be car accident chiropractor. So let's type in here with the descriptions of emergency chiropractor, get help now. And our description for the same one will be open 7 days a week for emergencies. And then your final URL you want the user to go to. Our site link number 2 is going to be types of chiropractic. And in the description, we're going to type in back pain relief. Description number 2 will be neck pain relief. And the final URL for this one as well, we'll copy. Site link number 3, we will type in accident chiropractor. Description line number 1, we'll say type in dislocated shoulder. And description line number 2, dislocated rib. With your final URL. For our fourth site link extension, we are going to name it sports injury. Description will be does chiropractic hurt dislocated rib chiropractor. And our final URL will be, so now click on create. Site link URL options, nothing here to worry about unless if you're an advanced user. Here you can type in a tracking, some tracking programming for these site URLs. Or an advanced options would be the scheduling, which we talked about. Now this schedule is for this ad group. We're just going to leave it at this and click create. Now Google on the right hand side here is going to show you exactly what some of these ads might look like. If you see the display URL at the top, your headlines, there's some descriptions, and here's what we just finished typing. Car accident chiropractor, sports injury, and you see it rotates them. These are your site link extensions. So these site links, when they click on them, you want those to go to a landing page. If I click on accident chiropractor, is going to a page that talks about accidents, or sports injury, talks about sports injury, and gives them the content that they are looking for. So moving on to call out extensions. Call out extensions, they're specific to your business offerings and what makes you stand out from the crowd. So I have come up with some ideas just so we can see what they look like. Open 24-hour for your needs, accident bone specialist, all insurances accepted, and same day x-ray included. If these are your business offerings, this is how your ad would look like. We will talk about these descriptions here in a short bit. So click apply. Where you see here, description 1, description 2, it's specific to your business. What makes you different? It's just like they're little micro ads. So let's go here, pet emergency, and you'll see it will come up with these descriptions here right below your ad. All right. So let's go ahead and click done. Now Google is going to suggestions that they feel like how they can make more money on you. So let's talk about daily budgets while this thing is going on. All right. So now Google, like I said before, is going to recommend your daily budget. Like I said, anywhere between $50 and $100 per day for a new account is exactly a good starting point. So you can either select the recommended, or you can enter a custom, or you can change it. All right. It'll also give you, based on that information, which is all the keywords, the bidding, the targeting, how we set up the account, what it would be, how much you're going to be paying for about per click, and how many weekly kicks you're going to get. These are just estimates. They are not set in stone. But again, our idea is to set this account so it can grow organically and maximize your ad spend. Okay, so click on next. So after the entire campaign is built, it's time to publish the campaign. So Google will give you some recommendations that you can experiment with. And for the most part, the campaign is built. Once it is, it's down here. It will say publish campaign. Once you click on that, it is going to be done. So this brings us to the end of the video. And if you found this to be helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you'd like more help setting up your campaigns, please book an appointment with me below. But I can only work with one chiropractor in your market area to drive all the traffic to. So in fact, if you book an appointment with me within the next 24 hours, I will set up all your campaigns for free and in return for 10% of the sales. You have nothing to lose and all to gain. So I'm here to help to make you more money and increase your business. So thank you for watching, and I look forward hearing from you.